Are you thinking about buying a home here in the Bay Area in 2025? If so, you've come to the right video. In today's video, we're going to be covering some of the biggest myths when it comes to buying a home here in the Bay Area, as well as proven strategies to make your home purchase journey a successful one. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Danny Gould. I'm the CEO of Selling Silicon Valley, and over the last decade, I've sold over $250 million worth of residential real estate here in the Bay Area. So I know a thing or two about helping buyers. I've helped hundreds of home buyers secure the home of their dreams. And if you watch this channel, you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I'm a big data guy and I follow the market and I look at the forecasts and I come up with my own predictions here. And if you've watched any of my snapshot videos, you'll know that it's something that I'm quite passionate about. And so what I want to do in today's video is mix a little bit of art and a little bit of science. The art being choreographing a successful home buying journey, and the science being how to meld or mold that journey given the realities of today's market. There are certain things right now that are happening with the interest rates, with the economy, with all of these different things that are impacting the home buying journey in a very unique way that wasn't the case, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And so we need to think about what are the realities of the 2025 market and how do we choreograph and construct the best home buying experience for ourselves heading into this market here in 2025. So let's begin. The first myth that I want to address is the concept of spring being the best time to buy. There's a lot of buyers out there who believe that the best time to buy is springtime because, hey, there's more homes on the market, there's more activity. And by that same token, there's actually quite a lot of sellers who also think, wow, spring is the best time to sell because there's more buyers out there, there's more activity, and so on and so forth. But in there lies the trap. You see, everyone is thinking the same way that you are. And so inevitably, there's going to be more homes available in the spring and the summertime typically than there are in the fall and the winter, but there's also usually more competition. The springtime market here in the Bay Area is usually defined by a period of very strong buyer activity as well as an increase in inventory as the months go on. So typically from Super Bowl Sunday through Memorial Day weekend and even a little bit after Memorial Day into the first couple of weeks of June, we see really healthy buyer activity and we start to see more and more homes come on the market as the springtime goes on. The issue is that there's a lot of buyers who are thinking just like you. And so there's going to be a lot more competition. Even though there's more homes for sale at that point in time, there's going to be a healthy amount of competition that comes up in the April and May timeframe that really wasn't around in like that December and January timeframe. Now, the summertime is a slightly different story because when we head into summer, a couple of things happen. First off, there are less buyers typically in the marketplace in the summertime. Okay, so clue number one that summertime could be a little bit of a better time to buy is typically a lot of the competition that's around goes on vacation, right? So there's weddings, there's graduations, and it's 4th of July, and then we got to go to Disneyland, and then we got all the kids, it's summer vacation. And so a lot of buyers take their eyes off the prize during the summer months. Conversely, a lot of sellers find summertime to be a very convenient time to sell their home. You couple that with this false idea that sellers have this in their mind, and I've talked to hundreds of sellers, thousands of sellers at this point, and almost every time that I talk to the seller, they think that summertime is the best time to list their house. Right? And the reason that they think that is because people have more free time. It's summertime. People want to get into their homes before the start of the new year. And so listing at the beginning of the summertime typically yields really good results. And that actually could not be further from the truth. We typically see really low buyer activity between like the second week of June through like the end of July, early August. And we also see an increase in inventory levels. So typically we see a steady increase in inventory, throughout the spring months. And there's a little bit of ebb and flow there, but typically we see another surge in inventory during the summer months. So if you are a home buyer and you're looking for like the best of both worlds, where you want to see as much inventory as possible, but you don't want to be faced with like the abundance of competition that there is out there, usually the summertime is a little bit better time to buy. If you can keep focused, if you can keep your eyes on the prize. Now, going into fall is a season of balance. We usually see pretty healthy amount of demand in the fall time. And we also see a fairly decent number of homes for sale, but the inventory doesn't go crazy high. So we see good activity in the fall. It's a balanced market. It's more balanced than in the spring and in the summertime. In fact, I would say fall is usually the most balanced time of the year, just in terms of supply versus demand. And then finally, we head into the winter time. And winter is kind of an underrated season when it comes to both buying and selling. You know, in the winter time, there's less homes for sale, right? Obviously, there's a lot of people who are focused on the holidays, and that goes for both buyers and sellers. And so even though there's less competition, there's going to be less homes for sale. So we have less buyers in the marketplace, but we also have less to choose from. That being said, typically the buyers and sellers who are active in that time are very motivated. So getting a deal done in the winter is actually quite simple. And there's a lot of great deals that get done in the wintertime because you pair a motivated seller with a motivated buyer and good things happen. So I want to dispel this myth that spring is the best time to buy. There are advantages and disadvantages to buying at any given point in the year. What I'm seeing in the market right now, and if you watched last week's snapshot, you'll know that there is going to be a healthy amount of activity, I believe, during the first couple of months here in 2025. I don't know what the summer is going to look like. And so I would reserve judgment on what the summer market's going to look like until we've really gone through at least half of the spring market. But what I can say confidently is that if you are looking to buy now, right? Like if you're like, hey, Danny, I need to buy before the end of the school year, let's say, you would be much better off getting your home search kicked off now, like literally in January or early February, as opposed to waiting till March or April. And the reason is even though there's going to be more homes for sale, I do think that we're going to see a slight run up in pricing, and there's going to be a healthy amount of appreciation that happens during these first couple of months. I know you're probably thinking, Danny, how is that possible? We've got interest rates. They're high right now. How could anyone, how could we, see massive price appreciation? I'm not saying massive price appreciation, but I am saying that there are signs in the market right now that are indicative of a healthy spring market. And that really starts in February. And so if you are a home buyer and you're trying to not pay, top dollar for your home, great way to pay top dollar for your home is wait until April or May this year to buy a house. Because I do think that if you're in a home buying situation right now and you got to buy before, say, the end of this year, the most amount of appreciation that's going to happen in the marketplace is going to happen between February 1st and May 1st of this year, right? After May 1st, I think we're going to start to see the market plateau a little bit, but between February and May, you're going to see a pretty big run up. So if you want to avoid getting the raw end of the stick and actually build a little bit of equity for yourself, buy sooner rather than later. But just understand that the reason I'm covering this is because I don't think that anyone should rush their decision making because of a slight price appreciation, or B, we're trying to time the market because spring is the best time to buy. The point of this is the best time to buy is when you are ready to buy. And if you're ready now, I would encourage you to not hold off and wait for some fictitious spring market that could bear great results for you. I've seen it time and time again where buyers wait too long and then they get caught in these massive bidding wars, and they could have bought in February, but instead they waited till April. And now they're in a situation where they don't really have a chance to build as much equity as they could have if they had bought earlier in the year. And they're just, they're going through the pain of buying in a really competitive market. And I don't think that you're going to be in that situation if you buy earlier in the year. So right now it's January 20th. So I'm filming this on MLK Day. And I really think that you've got about 45 days before the market really starts to crank. So now that we've debunked some of the myths associated with buying a home here in the Bay Area, it's time to move on to the strategy of buying a home. In a market as competitive as the Bay Area, if you approach your home buying journey without any strategy whatsoever, you won't find much success. So here are a few tips to help you craft a robust home buying strategy here in 2025. First off, go see homes early in the week. You see, most buyers, what they do is they come home after a hard day's work and they look on Zillow, they look on Redfin, and they say, honey, let's go look at these open houses this weekend, right? So they put it on their app or whatever, and they jot down a bunch of addresses, and then they go see them on the weekends. Well, here's the issue with that. The hungriest buyers, the most motivated buyers, are going out early in the week to see properties. So typically, me and my team, we are showing buyers properties on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Most agents put homes on the market early on in the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so we want to save some time in the middle of the week to go show properties to our home buyers. Why? Because if you like the home There is no rule saying that we need to wait until the weekend or after the weekend to submit an offer. And that's exactly what we've done time and time again. Dozens of our buyers, we've been able to get into contract before the very first weekend of open house. So the most motivated and the hungriest buyers are going out before the first weekend of open house. They're identifying the property that they want to make an offer on, and they are actually making the offer before anyone else steps foot inside of the property. Now, you might be thinking, Danny, that's not fair. Well, guess what? Life is unfair. There's no rule that says the seller can't sell their home to a buyer that wants to buy their house before the first weekend of open house. And so what happens is, if you're going to the open houses on the weekends, what you're seeing are the leftovers. You don't want the leftovers now, do you? By going to see property early in the week, you're putting yourself at a competitive advantage over the other buyers who simply, either they don't have the energy or the time, quote unquote, to go see properties. That is some of the biggest BS that I've ever heard in my life. Listen, if you are watching this video right now and you have convinced yourself that you don't have the time to go see homes on the weekdays, what are you even doing? This is the greatest financial decision that you're going to make in your life up until this point. Chances are that you have not made a bigger purchase in your life up until this point. What do you mean you don't have time to go out on the week? You have time to go to the doctor on the weekdays. You have time to go visit your attorney or the CPA on the weekdays. So you can't make time to go see a home on the weekdays? That could be the largest financial decision of your entire life. All right, now that I've gotten off my soapbox, I think that you can understand the value there, right? What I want to drive home is this, is that if you go early enough in the week, you can bypass a lot of the competition and oftentimes put a deal together without any other buyer being able to step up to the plate and also offer. In a market like this, where there's less certainty for home sellers than there was, say, a couple of years ago, I've seen this strategy work more and more over the last couple of years. The second tip for you is partner with a lender that can pre-underwrite your file. This is something that I help all of my clients do. We have a preferred lender that we work with that is able to pre-underwrite your file before we make an offer. Now, what does that mean? You might be thinking, pre-underwriting, what does that even mean, Danny? Well, you're probably, I would hope, familiar with the concept of a pre-approval. A pre-approval is you go to a lender, you say, hey, I want a loan, and they say, great, awesome, give us a bunch of supportive documentation. And then based on that documentation and some statements of information that you give us, we're going to generate what is called a pre-approval letter. Okay, great, awesome, you are pre-approved. Now, once you are in contract, typically what happens is the lender is going to underwrite your file, okay? And during that time frame that your file is being underwritten, that's when the lender is fully vetting you. And there's sometimes buyers who, during the underwriting process, get rejected by the bank. For whatever reason, underwriting turns up that, oh, maybe, you have undisclosed debts that you didn't disclose on your statement of information, or, some of this income really can't be counted because of XYZ reason. I mean, there's so many different reasons why people do not pass underwriting. But the fact is that there's a lot of unnecessary stress that happens during escrow because buyers wait until the last minute to go through the underwriting process. Instead, what you can do is partner with a lender who can underwrite your file before making an offer. Now, what does this do? Well, first of all, it gives you added security because now the bank has effectively committed to lending to you. So instead of you, going in there and being like, hey, I'm pre-approved, it's like I am underwritten by the bank, and the bank is now committed to lending to you. Not only that, but it also gives reassurances to the seller. So instead of you coming with a pre-approval, you say, hey, I'm fully underwritten. I can come in without my loan contingency because I no longer have that doubt in my mind that I'm not going to be able to get the loan. The bank has committed to lending to me, and we're going to be able to close the deal faster because we don't have to go through all those additional steps or all those hop through all those additional hurdles to get our loan approved and fully underwritten. It's that age-old saying that cash is king. Well, that's actually not true. It's the security of cash that's king. So you coming in with a briefcase full of cash telling the seller, hey, I've got cash, versus the lender coming with their briefcase full of cash and saying, hey, we've committed to lend this cash to this buyer. It's the same thing. So working with a lender that you can trust and that can fully pre-underwrite your file before making offers is crucial. It's imperative to making offers here in the Bay Area if you are getting a loan. It's a great way to stand out amongst a sea of offers that are all being financed. You would be the one offer likely that is fully underwritten and ready to go. And that is a big deal in this market. It's a huge competitive advantage that a lot of people don't even know about or don't talk about. My third and final tip for you is to work and partner with an agent that can get you access to off-market properties. Now, what does off-market properties mean? Well, Off-market homes are homes that are not on Zillow, they're not on Redfin, they're not on Realtor.com, they're not on any of the major websites. They are homes that are basically exclusively marketed or privately marketed to select individuals. Now, personally, I can tell you that the majority of my off-market opportunities that I find for my clients come from exclusive private networks that I belong to within the real estate community. So there are networks that I either pay to be a part of, like subscribe to, or free networks that I have gained access to due to certain production requirements. So there's one specific network that I belong to that only the top 10% of realtors in the Bay Area belong to. So once you're in the top 10%, you're in the club. So, and once you're in the club, you get access to all of these exclusive off-market opportunities that 90% of the agents out there literally do not have access to. Now, I know that your head is probably rushing with questions like, Danny, why would anyone ever sell their home off market? Or, how could I access these kinds of opportunities, and so on and so forth. And so what I've done is I've actually created a webinar just for you. You can look at the link below. I've got it in the description as well. But the link here, www.offmarketwebinar.com. That's www.offmarketwebinar.com. It'll send you straight to the registration page so that you can learn more about how to access off-market opportunities in 2025. Off-market opportunities are a fantastic way to access homes that not a lot of other buyers have access to. And in this absence of competition, there's just a higher likelihood that you could actually end up buying one of these houses, as long as you love it. It's another lead pillar for yourself, if you will, to go out and make sure that you're not leaving any stone left unturned. Now, if you've made it this far in the video and you are not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Click the notification bell to get notified every single time we post a new video just like this one, and give us a thumbs up while you're at it. It costs you absolutely nothing. And if you like what you heard in this video today and you're curious about what it would be like to partner with me in me helping you find the home of your dreams in 2025, you can text the word consultation. That's consultation to the number down below. And I will be reaching out to you personally to set up a time for us to get together and chat a little bit more about your situation. It's no strings attached. I'm 100% committed to figuring out whether or not we're going to be a good fit for each other. And if so, putting together a winning strategy for helping you find the home of your dreams in 2025. This is Danny Gould, everyone. I'm selling Silicon Valley, and I will catch all of you in the next video.